Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make your very first plugin for your Minecraft server. So stick around and I'll be showing you everything from downloading the programs that you need to run it, as well as writing your first line of code and then actually compiling your plugin and loading it up on your server. And trust me, it's going to be super rewarding when you finally get that first plugin on your server up and running with no bugs. So let's go on and get into it. So to go ahead and start us off, let's talk about what you're going to actually need to make your first plugin. And it's really going to be two different things. The first thing is going to be Java. So I mentioned this in the last episode. If you didn't watch it, I talked about how to make your test server up and running so you can actually test these plugins on. And I mentioned the importance of downloading JDK 21. So if you didn't watch the video and you want to know how to get your server up, go ahead and do that. You need Java for that as well. But you are going to need Java to make the plugins as well. So make sure you have JDK 21. It doesn't matter who you go through. You can go through Oracle. There's a few other websites that Java's Java. Just make sure you download JDK 21 at the time of this recording. In the future, it might get updated to a different version. But there is actually a tutorial. Let me find it really quick. If you go to the Build Tools website on Spigot MC, it says the prerequisites that you'll need. And for Java, so if you're coding anything, like if you're making plugins anything lower than 1.17, you're going to want JDK 8. 1.17.1, JDK 16, above 17.1 you want JDK 17, and then above 1.20.5, which we're currently above that, we're at 1.21.11 I believe, you want JDK 21. And you can notice nowhere in here does it say to use JDK 25 for anything. So if you do have JDK 25 or a different Java version, I just recommend downloading JDK 21 just because that's the most up to date. If you are coding in 1.21.11, which is what I'm doing at the time of recording, I always recommend you making plugins in the most recent version because there's just no reason not to, unless if you're coding for a server or you want to open up a server that's like for an older version, like for example 1.8 is really popular, then you would have to lower your Java version. Anyways, make sure you have Java installed. If you don't know if you have Java installed, you can open up the command prompt at the terminal and you can just type java-version and it'll tell you what your version is, or you can go to the programs page on Windows and then just search up Java and it'll tell you what you have installed if you have multiple versions. Anyways, yeah, just make sure you have JDK 21. That's all you really need. Select your operating system and hit download on whatever download that you need. I'm not going to go through this because I already have it, but you just go through the install process that it gives you by clicking through it. Alright, so once you have that installed, next you're going to need an IDE to actually edit the code, and this is where we're going to be making the actual plugins. Now, for an IDE, it's very much up to your own preference. However, I will say that IntelliJ is kind of the standard in the plugin community. It has the most support for it. In fact, it even has its own plugin for Minecraft development specifically, which makes it really easy to start a new plugin. If you didn't use this, I don't know if any other IDEs have this, but you'd have to write a bunch of fairly boilerplate code, but IntelliJ does it all for you, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. It's really nice. If you've never started, start in IntelliJ. It's amazing. However, I have included Visual Studio Code and Eclipse. I know these can also be used to make plugins. Like I said, it's just not as much support. Kind of preference, like I said, at the end of the day, but I'm going to strongly recommend everyone use IntelliJ. It's what everyone uses. So I'll leave the downloads to all these down in the description, by the way. Just make sure you have Java and IntelliJ installed. Make sure you select your operating system, download it, and then go through the install process that comes from this. Again, I already have installed, so I'm not going to go through it, but just click through everything and install it. All right, now that we have the two things installed that we need, let's go ahead and open up IntelliJ so we can start coding. Now, when you open it up, this will be your main dashboard. You won't be here very often. It's just to manage your projects. If you're installing IntelliJ for the first time, you won't have any projects here. That's fine. We're going to go over here to new project, and then this is what I'm talking about with the Minecraft plugin that they actually have, which is just amazing. It makes it really easy. You're gonna go over to new project and make sure you have Minecraft selected over here. If you don't see it listed over here, you might have to select more, manage plugins, and search for the Minecraft plugin in this marketplace. You just type in Minecraft and you should see Minecraft development. Go ahead and install it, press OK, and then it'll pop up right here. And what this does is, like, this would be a normal Java project, and you see you don't have a lot of settings. You can select your build system, Maven, Gradle, but you're missing a lot of stuff that comes with here. It gives you a lot of templates to work off of. It's just, like I said, quality of life. It's just amazing. Go ahead and name it whatever you want. We'll just name this one tutorial, and you can change the location it's in. I'm going to leave it where it naturally goes. I'm going to leave creating a Git repository on. You don't have to. If you don't know about Git, that's fine, but it's just going to help me keep track of all the changes that I do in case I mess something up. Go ahead and select plugin because we are making a plugin. If you want to make mod, select mod. Pretty self-explanatory. For template, we are making a Spigot plugin in this tutorial. If you want to make paper or sponge, they have support for that. Build system, I like to use Maven. I've never used Gradle. but they're fairly similar. They do the same thing. They build and compile your plugin into a jar. We're going to be using Maven for this tutorial. Language is going to be in Java, although Kotlin is the kind of new Java. It's what I'm seeing a lot of plugins being made in Kotlin. I personally don't have experience with it, but like I said, this tutorial is going to be in Java. Minecraft version, make sure you select your Minecraft version. We're on 1.21.11. Plugin name, that's just going to go in your pom.xml, and I guess your plugin.yml as well. Main class, leave that. JDK, make sure you have the right JDK selected. And this stuff is all optional. You can kind of leave all this blank, but really what you want to do is change your group ID to your domain that you own. So for example, you have a website, like my website is com.karter.sanamo. So how it works is you put your domain right here, and then the top level domain, or the .com or the .org or whatever, you want to put that first. So it'll be com.karter.sanamo. If you owned netflix.com, it would be com.netflix. But this doesn't really matter. This more matters for like production and all that. But just if you have a website, you can put that there. Artifact ID, you could leave that. And then we can go ahead and hit create, and this will make your project, and you'll be able to see what I was talking about with this template. So as you can see, I just made the project. I haven't done anything, and we have all this code already in here. We have all these files and folders made. We have resources. We have a plugin.yml. We have a pom.xml, and I'm going to kind of go through very briefly what all these actually mean and do. So the file that you have open originally is going to be your main file. So this is what's actually ran when the plugin starts. All of your plugin startup logic is going to go in this method right here in your on enable, and your plugin shutdown logic is going to go in on disable. On disable is not used very often. It's really just used if the plugin shuts down and you clean something up. So if you have like managers that are managing some like NPC that needs to be like deleted when like just so you don't break things, that's where this would go. It really just depends on your plugin. For now, we're not going to use it, so we can just delete it. Our on enable though, we will be using for today. So we can go ahead and keep this. But yeah, so like literally first thing that happens as soon as your plugin gets enabled, when the server is starting up, this code will be ran. And then if we look over here, like I said, we kind of have two more files that we need to look at. Git ignore is part of the GitHub stuff. You could ignore that. And then you have your plugin.yml. Your plugin.yml is like your configuration file for your plugin. So it's using YML syntax. If you never use YML, it kind of uses this syntax. It uses like a key with a colon, and then if you enter, it gets indented slightly. And then you could put a value here, or sorry, it's going to be key values on the same line. But if you want to nest them, it would be like key to a value. So an example of this is when you register commands, you do commands, and then you do the name of the command. Let's say we want to register a command of test, and then you'd put like the description of it. Whoops, description here. So this is the syntax of YML. If you never used it, you know, Minecraft plugins was the first time I ever used YML. So just try to get familiar with YML. It's fairly easy, but it's different from like JSON and other stuff like that. So, but yeah, this is your config file. You see, you have a few things here already. You have the name of your plugin, and then the version. So when this is actually compiled, this will turn into, I forget this YML. Yeah, YML's comments. This will turn into name-version.jar. So for example, above I have tutorial. So this would compile into tutorial dash my version, which is 1.0 snapshot.jar. So this is the jar that it would actually create for me. So if you want to change this, when you're making a version, you would want to change this like 1.0.0. If you're pushing a new version, 1.0.1, whatever, it defaults to dash snapshot until you make an actual version, and you can come change this yourself. But that can just stay there for now. The main is going to be a path to where your main file is, which like I said, that's this file that we had open. So just leave that be. You should never really move that. And then your API version as well, leave that on 1.21 because we're using Spigot 1.21. That's what we selected before we made the project. And I'll show you what else you can add to this plugin.yml, but just think of the plugin.yml as your configuration file for your plugin. Really, it's like your configuration file for the plugin like architecture. There's config files for plugins that's more for like the players or the like server owners to use, but this is for how the plugin actually works and functions and all that. Anyways, moving on, the pom.xml. Now this, it definitely looks a lot more scary than the plugin.yml, but it just uses tag syntax to have different things. It looks very scary, but it's fairly simple once you start to learn more of it. So we have this first section that's kind of like a head right here that has the group ID, the artifact ID. Again, that's what we put in the project description as we were making it, that version and that jar. So again, if you want to update your version, you're just going to move this to, you know, whatever version, and that'll come out as well, I just repeated it, but it would be tutorial-1.0-snapshot. Snapshots. Sorry, I just got a new keyboard, so I keep messing up. You're not going to touch any of this, leave that. Properties, if you ever have a mismatch with your Java version, you might want to edit this Java version. Like for example, if this is set to Java 25 by default and you go to compile it, you're going to have a Java mismatch. So make sure you leave it on Java 21. Down here, you could skip all of this. This is how Maven compiles it. I guess I should briefly explain. pom.xml is like the configuration for how Maven is going to package your jar. So when Maven goes to run it, it looks at your pom.xml and says, you know, okay, we're using this information. We're going to run this command, Maven compiler plugin on this Java version. You know, we're going to package it, then we're going to shade it. Like this is like instructions for Maven, essentially. You can see clean package. So this big build tag is actually what happens when you press, I just opened up the Maven tab right here. When you press this green button right here, not green right now because I haven't ran anything, but that's actually what runs when this happens. Then down here you have your dependencies. So dependency, if you don't know, is like an external library that you can use in your project. So obviously we're making a Spigot plugin and we need to be able to access the Spigot API. You can see if I remove this, remove just the dependency, it's going to start yelling at us because now it has no idea. Hold on, let me reload. It has no idea where org.bucket comes from. Org.bucket doesn't live on our system. We have to get it from the API and it doesn't know where. So you have a few options when you need a dependency. You can either have a jar and shade that into your plugin, or the easier way is to, if they have an API, just call that through a dependency. So you're going to add the dependency, but still this dependency, it doesn't know where it's coming from. So you need to add a repository. Just know that for any dependency you want to add, you have to add the dependency and the repository if it doesn't already live inside of one of the repositories listed. So like if I'm adding a dependency, if it's not on spigot.mc, then I would need to add a new repository for wherever that one came from. You can see this is so erroring, just reload the Maven if you ever get any errors like that. But yeah, that's kind of what you have here. Sorry, that's kind of a long explanation, but I kind of want to just show you what you have. And now let's get to actually compiling it. So the way that you compile your plugin is, actually before we do that, let's put something in this on enable. So when we run this plugin, I can actually see and make sure that it is actually working. For now, we're just going to output a message. We're not going to actually do any functionality, but that's all we really need right now. I'm just going to say, hey, this plugin has started. So we're going to say system.out.println, and we're going to say, there we go, tutorial has been enabled. So when the server starts up, we're going to be looking for this message in the console. And now the way that we compile this with Maven, we're going to go over here. So like normally you're going to be like this. You're going to press the Maven tab right here, and then you're going to drop down tutorial, drop down lifecycle, and you have a few different options here. You can learn about what these do. The ones that you're mainly going to be working in is clean, install, and package, really, or compile. Like, but really, you're only going to need a few. There's a lot here. Don't get too confused. A lot of them do very similar things, just slightly differently. So as a general rule of thumb, you can run really install or package to make your jar. We're going to go ahead and run package, and we'll see that. So here's the console that comes down, and you'll see a bunch of stuff happening. It'll compile it all. It'll take, dependencies, put them in there, blah, 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 shading, don't worry about that. And then you'll see build success, or you'll see build failed and a bunch of red. But we haven't done anything, so we get a build success, how long it took. And then you'll see on the left side, we have some new orange folders. That means they're new, called target. And we have a bunch of stuff in here. Don't worry about any of this, but what we do want to worry about is this right here. So this is our plugin right here. This is our jar. Like I said, it's named exactly how I said. This is how we configured it. So something very quickly that I'm going to try to explain is when you compile something, what Maven does is it takes all your files, puts them into generated classes. So you can see this structure right here under classes exactly mimics what's up here. So you can see, what is it, com, starting right here below, you have your plugin.yml, com, and then this is actually a decompiled class of this class. So you can see it's kind of the same. It's a little bit differently, but this is the class that it generates, and it takes these classes and puts them into a jar. If you're ever making a change to your jar, really what you should be doing is cleaning first. And what cleaning does is it clears out all of this target folder, because if you go and you package right now, it's going to use these old classes and your changes might not be reflected. So your best option is to run clean first, and you'll see this will disappear, and then run package after that. Let's go ahead and use this plugin. So if we go over to our target folder, like I said, this is our jar. You might see multiple jars. You have a shaded one, an original one. Always use the one that's named normally. So we can go ahead and drop that into our plugin folder. So we can go to our server folder that we made last episode, and we can go to our plugins folder, and we can go ahead and delete these other plugins that we had downloaded just to show And oh yeah, like I said last episode, we need to make sure our server is offline when we're adding plugins or, you know, changing stuff. Then go ahead and run stop, wait for it to shut down, close that, and then now we can edit all this. I'm just gonna clean this up so we're all clean. Perfect. All right, now let's grab our plugin. We're gonna drag and drop it in there, and then now let's go back and run it. And so like I said, what we're looking for in this console is the output of tutorial has, well, I forget what I said, tutorial has loaded, tutorial has started. So here's the loading debug. See, we have tutorial, loading tutorial, and that's just common. The Spigot logger actually logs every plugin that it loads. So you're gonna have that, and then you'll wait until it actually loads when the on enable is called. And we should see somewhere, yeah, at the bottom, you see this is the Spigot output debug tutorial enabling tutorial v1-snapshot, and then you see this is what we actually printed. We said tutorial has been enabled. You can see if we go back to IntelliJ, you can see system.out tutorial has been enabled. So our code is actually working and our plugin's working, and we can double check that by running /pl, and you see plugins 1 tutorial. This is the plugin that we made, and it's green. If it was red, that means it wouldn't be on, and we can cross-reference that by going in game and just running pl as well. And you can see, boom, plugins 1 tutorial. So that's our plugin. Currently, it doesn't actually do anything, but we'll be focusing on that in the next episode. So if you want to know how to actually make, you know, your first command, your events, and listen to all of that, make sure you stick around to the next episode. This is just a very basic kind of showing you how to make a plugin, how to compile it, how Maven works, a little bit about the files that it actually gives you. And yeah, so if you guys like the video, make sure you leave a like and comment down below any questions that you have or anything that you'd like to see in this tutorial. But subscribe if you want to keep seeing them. I'll keep posting, you know, programming tutorials and videos as I see necessary. But if you guys want to see anything specific, let me know and I'll try my best to get that done. Anyways, I'll see you guys later and hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Peace out.